What up, everybody? This is Chris Albert with Getting Too Shredded. I'm showing you my chest workout today at Metroflex Gym, Long Beach. This is my third week back into bodybuilding. If you've seen my shoulder workout that I put out earlier this week, that workout was actually a few weeks ago. We're about 2 weeks away from that workout now, so you can see some of the changes occurring in my physique. You're seeing something very rare right now, which is me bench pressing. I don't actually bench press very much anymore. And the reason is I do have a partial tear in my left pec that tends to act up if I get anywhere close to 300 pounds. And I'm not very strong at the lift. But I do like to work it in every so often. Mainly here I was doing it to fatigue my central nervous system before I got into some of the later movements. Really helps me to focus on the muscles. Still got a good bit of strength, but it's really not a good bench press for someone my size. I'm 5'8", close to 200 pounds. I could probably bench press somewhere around the vicinity of 330 pounds, but it's really not that big of a bench press. There's a lot of people, especially in Metroflex Gym, who could do a lot more than I can. So definitely not something I like to brag about, nor do I care really. I'm not really big on the ego lifting. I've got a pretty good squat, pretty good deadlift, but like I said, that's not really what I'm going for anymore. So I do try to lift to my potential. You see I get 275 here for 8. It was a rough 8, and really just not a good lift for me. But again, it does have its purpose, and it's one of the reasons why I like to include it in my routine every so often, not all the time. Just to sorry, I got a little frog in my throat. Just to really get my central nervous system going before some of the other lifts. Here I'm trying to force blood into the pec muscles using the fly machine. Really just trying to do this movement slow, trying to concentrate, trying to activate all that muscle there in the pec. My chest actually grows pretty easily. Never really had a problem with development there. I get really good cross striations when I'm in competition shape. You can actually even see some of them right now, even though I'm not in shape. And I really feel like doing some of these exercises here, like the flat machine, has really helped that development. I do think some of it's genetics. I do have a naturally big upper chest, so that really hasn't contributed to my strength at all, but whatever. Still going here. Really, again, just trying to focus on the movement. There's a bunch of guys powerlifting in the corner over there, and they were playing with some really heavy weight. I even think CT Fletcher was involved, working out with some of the guys. So always good things happen around Metroflex Gym, Long Beach. Again, just concentrating here. I used to be a power lifter, actually up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago. My last meet was a Camp Pendleton USPEA meet. Had a pretty good total, but never really made elite or anything like that. I lifted in the 198-pound class, and I think my total was close to 1,400. But again, that's nowhere near elite, nowhere near top of the line or anything like that. And my priorities now, trying to get more into bodybuilding. This is my third week into my bodybuilding plan. Have really changed. I didn't really train chest all winter. I was mostly focusing on overhead pressing movements and Olympic lifts and getting my posture right. So I felt like a lot of the fact that I trained chest so much when I was younger led to my refracted shoulders, which I've really been working to improve. There was a point last year where I couldn't get my arms behind a squat bar for a while, and that also led to my decision not to train chest because it got so tight. So I couldn't put my arms behind the bar for the squat, and I was using the safety squat bar because of that fact. But things are good now, so I'm back at it. See me here with the 85s. I really like the incline dumbbell press a lot. One thing you're going to notice here is that I don't go all the way up and I don't lock my shoulders or my elbows out. That's mainly to keep the pressure on the chest. You'll also notice that I'm pressing straight up and not moving the dumbbells in, really trying to keep that pressure on the muscle. Additionally, you're not going to see me flaring my elbows out on this or the bench press. I really believe the elbows have to come down at a 45-degree angle toward the sides of your torso, so that you are not putting that shoulder in a particularly straining position where the joint is weaker. But it is what it is. Working here with the hundreds, I think I get 8. Again, not particularly good or heavy, but I'm just focusing more on muscle activation and trying to work with the weight in a controlled manner as much as possible. Metroflex is a great place to train. It does get a little bit crowded there in the dumbbell area. So, me, I don't have a film crew. I don't have anybody filming for me. I'm kind of like Survivor Man, where he goes out into the woods just by himself with a bunch of cameras and sets those up. So it gets a little bit challenging with the camera angles and things like that. You're going to see me setting up all different places, and I'm actually filming this just with an iPhone. So those of you at home who have nothing but an iPhone and a computer, you too can start your own YouTube channel. This is something I do in place of decline presses to work the lower chest. A lot of times when I do a decline press, even with dumbbells, I feel like I'm really limited in my range of motion, and I don't feel like I'm hitting it at the right angle. So this here allows me to change the angle of my torso a lot. It's just a plain old dip machine, and put my feet under the pads in front, just modify the exercise like that, and it really helps me to focus on squeezing the lower pecs at the bottom of the movement. You really want to get that lower pec work in there so you get that rounded kind of look, and focusing on it, really trying to control the weight, trying to control my torso, trying to control my core so I can stay at the angle that I desire. Again, working here, put a little more weight on there. You see me strain in, get the veins coming out, but as you see that mural, that awesome mural of CT in the background, screaming. I don't think it looks much like him in person, but it's a good mural all the same. One more set here. I don't really do much more than 3 or 4 sets of anything. Like I said in an earlier video, I don't like to spend that much time in the gym. I like to get in, get out, go home and eat. It's just, I feel like a lot of people lollygag around the gym a lot. I feel like a lot of people just extend their workouts by like hours, and they really shouldn't be doing that. So, normally I train chest with triceps or some other pushing movement, but today I worked in biceps, just trying to pick up a lagging body part, doing alternating dumbbell curls, but I don't alternate. I like to focus on one arm at a time. You see me working here with the 50s. This is not bad weight for a bicep. Trying to do them strict, really just trying to activate the muscle, get that central nervous system going, and push the weight up, and lift something a little bit heavy for my biceps, trying to get them to grow a little bit more. Didn't train them all winter, again, because I was really focusing on other things, not bodybuilding. So, but I do feel like they got a lot of work out of the Olympic lifts, particularly because my power clean form and my clean form are so screwed up. I pulled too much with the arms, so they did get a little bit of work, but no direct work at all winter. This is probably my 3rd week doing biceps, and I do feel like my arms are growing a bit. Over here, next set, now you see me, now you don't, there I go, and I'm working here with the 60s. Again, not trying to do too much swinging, really trying to get that palm face up, turning that dumbbell at the top, squeezing that muscle, trying to get the most out of the movement. I get about 6 each arm, and it was really hard. It's a pretty heavy dumbbell curl for me. For a lot of people, that ain't shit. Some people, that's a warm-up, but I'm a little white guy, so I don't really have huge arms or anything like that naturally, and just really trying to get the most out of the movement, train hard, and trying to keep up. So, over here, I'm working into hammer strength preacher curls. What you're going to see with me here is that I bite off a little bit more than I can chew. I picked up a 45 in my zealous state after curling those 60s, and I thought I could handle it, but I only get it for about 4 each arm, so I move on to a lighter weight the next set. One thing about preacher curls, you are more likely to tear your bicep on this exercise than any other because of the pressure that's going onto the tendons. I also used it quite a bit when I was a powerlifter to develop the tendons for the very same reason, but you don't want to go too heavy unless your name is CT Fletcher or Big Rob. You don't want to be doing 80 pounds on the preacher curl. And by the way, the first time I ever met CT, he was preacher curling 90 pounds for reps. Absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, you see me here with my measly 25s, trying to get a pump in here. You see the effects of the pump throughout the workout. I look a lot better now than I did at the beginning of the workout. And really trying to increase the blood flow. My nutrition up to my workout is mostly focused on making sure that I'm able to get good pumps during the workout. I limit the amount of food I really take in beforehand for a couple of reasons. One, I want everything to be moving fast, so I take a lot of liquid protein prior to the workout because I don't really want anything sitting in my stomach. I want it getting in there, getting out. I do take branched chain amino acids that are high in L-leucine during the workout as an intra-workout drink, and of course I drink my IX3 pre-alpha before the workout, which contains a good bit of citrulline malate, which gives me a really good pump, really getting blood into that muscle. I do not like to consume carbohydrates, even though they give you a good pump prior to the workout, and I tell my clients this and I tell you guys this on YouTube, mainly because they can lead to a drop in blood sugar, and I really feel that carbohydrates are more of a glycogen replenishment tool than an energy source. They're there to replace lost energy, not to really give you long-term energy. They're actually about half as efficient for giving you energy than fat sources are, because they contain an oxygen atom for every carbon atom. So you're breathing them in all the time. You burn right through them. Whereas fats, they burn a lot slower, and the fats you eat the night before can actually sustain you for energy for the next day. So fats can burn up to 9 hours. Carbohydrates about 4.5. So like I said, I don't like to consume a lot of carbohydrates before. Particularly, I don't really like to consume any solid food, whether it's protein or carbohydrates, within 3 hours of the workout, because they're both insulinogenic and they can really cause a drop in blood sugar. But finishing up here with a straight up set of preacher curls, really trying to do these as strict as possible. Again, not too fancy here, not too many exercises or anything like that. Just doing what I got to do, getting in and getting out. And what you can see at the end here, I'm doing a little bit of flex just so you guys can see where I'm at. I'll be doing this quite often throughout this training cycle. So you guys got questions for me, hit me up at gettingtoshredded@gmail.com. You know where to find me on Instagram and Facebook. So peace out.